I feel like counting down is better, but alright.
Do you want to stop and go again?
Yes, I do.
No, fuck that.
Might as well do it properly now.
You know there are like Americans who don't get European sports because the timer counts up.
Wait, what?
So you know like say for football, like the
Yeah,
clock
it counts
starts
to the
at
90.
0. Yeah. There are Americans who don't understand that means there's 90 minutes in a match, because obviously American sports, the clocks count down.
Yeah, because they're so short
They're
attention
stupid.
spans.
And they're stupid.
Also, like, from what I've seen of American football, the clock barely counts anyway.
Yeah,
because they're stopping that bloody much. It's like, oh, throw the ball, right, stop. Good 5 seconds on the pitch, lads.
Part of it's also probably because a lot of European sports have added time.
Yeah.
Where American sports don't. American sports generally, when it hits 0, that's it.
They just stop time rather than add time on.
Yeah.
Unless it's American football, in which case the play continues until...
It's because Americans can't do addition.
I think the play continues until the drive or whatever is over.
I believe they call it the down. First down, second down.
Well, you can get a touchdown and it ends the drive, so...
Like, we can sit there and slag off American sports all we want. I mean, we do have a sport where you can only pass the ball backwards. That is pretty silly.
You good to go? Alright, let's do this.
I didn't answer, so... Are you answering for me, Nick?
Yep.
Are you assuming my answer?
Yep.
How dare you?
There are only 2 answers.
Oh, don't give me...
Brothers and sisters, welcome to the Not So Super Bash Bros presents Game Club for July 2017. Yes, Game Club is back, the monthly video review podcast thing, where we take turns picking games, go play them for the month, and come back and discuss them for your listening pleasure. This month, it was Hitman, and as always, I am your host, silent but deadly, Nick Davis, joined by chunky but hunky, Hans Davis.
Oh, what about you?
Salty but sweet, Alex Proudfoot.
Hello.
And sarcastic but, well, he's just sarcastic. I like you.
Aww.
No fancy intro for you.
You know, you could have been really racist with that and gone sweet and sour.
Yeah, that may have been a step too far.
Love you, IY.
Yes, it was the start of a new Game Club year, and to kick it off, I had to pick, and I picked Hitman by IO Interactive, the episodic stealth game, which the first episode was released on the 11th of March 2016, with generally monthly releases of new episodes up until October, I believe it was, and then episode 6 came out.
I actually have a question. So, the very first episode, was that the Paris fashion show one, yeah?
Yes, it was the intro mission, like the tutorial stuff, and Paris.
Did. Okay, I was wondering what the tutorial stuff fell under.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was episode 1, Hans. You had to wait next month to actually play the game.
See that? Well, because there was a thing whenever I bought it saying like there was like a bonus episode, and I was wondering if the tutorial was like the bonus episode or something.
No, the bonus episode, I think there's 2 bonus episodes, maybe 3. One of them was a Christmas themed one.
In the Paris stage, yeah.
Yeah, in Paris, where the targets were Harry and Marv from Home Alone.
Oh, that's cool.
And one was on the set of was Sapienza, but they had redone it all to be like a movie set, like Pacific Rim type movie.
That one was pretty good.
Yeah,
Look
so
like
like
that.
there was like specific takedowns where like, oh, you could kill the guy by like one of the props eating him and like grinding him to pieces.
It's pretty good, actually.
Yeah. So yes, Hitman. After the lackluster, probably some would say, release of Absolution, Hitman, well, then just Hitman 2016 was announced to be an episodic game, which kind of met with some backlash, kind of some, because it was very late. It was revealed it was episodic. There was a whole saga where every single pre-order was cancelled because I think it was like a month beforehand when they announced it would be episodic. So they cancel like all the pre-orders.
Bet you those dickheads feel like assholes now.
But yes, as always, I will say, how far did everyone get in the game?
I completed it.
I completed it and I finished some of the bonus stuff as well.
How?
I finished the story, but did not do anything extra.
Okay, I got past the 4th mission and then I just ran out of time because I just moved house. So, but I do plan on I do plan on finishing it though. I will try and get it finished this week. Just finish this and giggles. But I have seen a lot of it played on Giant Bomb as well because they were very into that game for the year. So I've split this as always into 3 sections. First section, gameplay. Second section, how the episodic structure hurts or helps. And third section is plot, which is kind of loose, but
It's there.
It's there. Like if you're a big Hitman fan, apparently the plot is very good because there's a lot of callbacks.
Oh, okay.
Are any of you guys big Hitman fans? Because I knew nothing.
I knew Diana and Agent 47.
I knew that he was called 47. That's it.
I knew about 47.
And I knew he had a barcode on his neck.
This is based on the movie.
I don't know why he has a barcode on his neck, but I know it's there.
So yes, let's kick it off with gameplay. Personally, I thought, from what little I have played of the other Hitman games, which is not a lot, I will say, I'll preface this with, it seems very similar to what I have played of them. Just say a lot more polished. This has received like a lot of updates, it being a 2016 game compared to some of them being quite old at this point. Like snapping to cover, a lot of the different way, like the opportunity stuff, I think is one of the biggest additions Hitman could have done, and I think they did it very well for both people who wanted to see the opportunities and people who were kind of like may not wanted to see them, but they were there. Like there was always the option to turn them off, which I thought was very nice.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of... It could kind of ruin and kill the immersion, so it was nice that they had the option to turn on the markers if they were there. But what I really liked about them was the fact you didn't actually have to do the opportunities. Like, you could completely ignore them and just go about it a more traditional stealth game way, which is just sneak about.
I quite like the opportunities, but I find that if I did it and it wasn't a kill one, if it was just like a disguise chain, or if it failed, I ended up just shooting them in the head.
Yeah.
I just resorted to the old tried and true method of shoot them. So
I think the opportunity stuff was important though, because like that is typically before what Hitman was always praised for, was having these fun, like really intuitive ways of like completing some of the missions. But a lot of them like were like super obtuse, and it was always really hard to actually like find out how to do it.
oh yeah, no, like if they weren't presented to me, I never would have like explored the level or anything. I just would have went killed the guy, and that was it. So it actually prolonged my gameplay.
Yeah,
because it actually made me do more stuff than just walk in, shoot a guy, and leave.
because there's one I remember. I think it's in the opening cutscene as well, but I remember seeing like gameplay of it. Is there? I think it's in Blood Money. There's like you essentially you can. Your target is like this really fat guy who like can barely move.
Yeah.
And like he's in this sushi restaurant, and you can disguise yourself as a fish, or as a fish. What? As a sushi chef, and like do the fish where like, oh, if you don't cut it the right way, like the toxin and all will kill you.
Yeah, that's actually in the final mission in this.
Yeah, I think like they call back to it in that, but there's also a mission where you can like in one of the old games where you can do that fat guy, and I think like harking back to that, that's just something you have to stumble upon in the older games. When in this one, maybe it's a bit handholdy, but I think it's better to have the option at least there to handhold your way through it, rather than just hope the player stumbles across it.
Oh, I mean, like it makes it so much more accessible to someone who's never played a Hitman game before in their life. Like, so it's, in my opinion, it is a good thing, and the fact it's optional means that diehard fans who are like, oh, fucking noobs, why do they need like this marker on the screen, means that they can also enjoy it. So I think it's smart.
Personally, I wish there was like the opportunity stuff was more of an in-between thing. Like, what I felt was that maybe it's just convenient all the opportunities I came across and did, right? But it was always just, you know, like, whatever your target was, it was like, oh, they have a meeting with someone, you should disguise as them, because everyone is a bald guy who needs to be talked to. So you fit the bill perfectly. And, like, it was always a situation where it ended with you alone with your target, because the guard gets told to stand outside.
Yeah.
And, like, a lot of the times they're literally 2 feet away, but they don't do anything because their back is turned. It's like, what I would prefer is if opportunities were like, you know, like a lot of other games, it's like, oh, you know, spend your resource to make this bit, like, you know, weaker, or like, you know, that kind of element of, you know, make the enemy's defenses more manageable rather than bypassing all of it and just getting to the end. Like, I personally felt like the game, it wasn't that it was easy, it was that it felt very cheap. But as you said, you don't have to do that stuff, but isn't that why it's there, though, for you to do?
And I think it's like you said, though, you maybe just got unlucky with some of the choices of what opportunities you went for. Because actually I thought a couple of them were more about accessibility. And like trying, and rather than just, here's your opportunity to kill a target. Like the Marrakesh one, which was a shit level, but we'll get to that. There's a one where like you find the old headmaster of the school
that was what I was going to say.
The rebel leaders in.
He literally, like, that opportunity is literally just to give you a key to, like, give you
unlock all the doors.
Yeah, free access to the school. Like, it doesn't, it won't lead you to the guy, but it'll make getting to him and finding a way to kill him much more easy.
And like in the Colorado one, where you're in the, what do you call it, the militia's base, there's another opportunity about the guy's watch. One of the leader's watches is that you can replace the battery in it.
Or you're finding an explosive or something, isn't it?
Yeah, but like it's not like you're one-on-one with him. It's just that, right, once you he goes up to his room and he resets his watch and he leaves the watch down, and if you sneak into the room you can replace it and you can just walk off and then it blows up. Like, it's not necessarily a one-on-one thing, but I feel like it's not just a case, there are cases of it, you know, you are just one-on-one, the guards are standing outside and you can
press X to
kill them. Yeah, essentially. But I wouldn't say it. I think you just maybe did get a little bit unlucky.
Yeah, because in that same level, Hans, with the watch, there is a case where you can overtune the explosives that he's testing.
Yes.
So you can like plant more explosives and then just leave him and go do other stuff, because he will eventually get round and blow himself up.
Yeah.
I felt like that was the one level where I did feel like there was a bit more to it. Like, I didn't like, personally, that level I didn't feel it was as obvious as the other levels.
Although that being said, one of the women is literally, you push her to your death when the guards leave.
Yes, I did that.
Yeah, like there is plenty of this opportunity will just leave you alone with the target. Like there's one on Sapienza where like you can like give the guy like poisoned food and he'll like walk off to a cliff edge and throw up and leave his guard behind.
Yeah.
Then you kick him.
There's one in
the hotel.
Yeah, the hotel.
And can we talk about the hotel one, right?
Where you pretend to be the drummer.
Yes. So you pretend to be the drummer and then you go to the recording session. And then the guy goes like, okay, go lay us down a beat. And so Agent 47 walks behind the drums and starts just playing the drums like it's nothing. And just like, there's an entire like drum solo where he's sitting there and it's a cutscene. He sits there playing the drums. But then after that, you go up, he's like, oh, can I talk to you? He tries to get you to sign up with his talent agency or something on the rooftop. And then you just gotta walk over and push him off the edge and then that's it. But the thing that kind of killed the immersion for me in that one is that the two guards follow you up and leave you to do your dodgy meeting, and you push him over the edge. But if you push him over the edge, it acts as if it's an accidental kill, so there's no like notoriety on you, which is bullshit because the guards followed you up.
Yeah,
and you were the only two people there. What the fuck else is going to happen?
He's a rock star. He could do a lot of drugs. He could be clever.
Well, for that one, I took two very different routes for both targets. And the first target I sniped from my room's balcony.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one I got in and stole the USB with the file and played it on his laptop.
Oh, yeah.
So he came in and I shot him in the head. There's actually a wee chair you can sit in to wait for him. It's great.
You really like the shooting in the head approach I sense in here, Alex.
I just smothered him with cake.
I killed a lot of the people with a shot to the head, I'm not gonna lie. In Paris, on the catwalk, the guy walked out to give a speech, shot him in the head.
Like, I feel like that
time
is the cool way to play it.
The one time I did shoot someone in the head was the Rockstar one, where I invited it, like, I got his birthday cake ready, but didn't have any poison, so I just hid around the corner waiting for him to blow out the candles, then shot him in the head and jumped out the window. Dressed as a chef.
There's a bit where, you see whenever he's actually blowing out the candle and he does that bit, like, he then gets everyone to leave the room, and he has this one-on-one with, like, your other woman, and, like, there's this really serious conversation, and I'm just standing there as a chef, just out in the open, and then, like, they split off, and she just, like, gives me a look and just walks by, and then I smother him with cake, and it's like, oh, great, done. Like, I just feel like the NPCs really let the game down in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Kind of kills the immersion.
Like,
yeah.
You get away with too much stuff in certain outfits, I feel.
The one thing I really hate is how everyone has something to say to you. Right? Because obviously everyone has some kind of contextual, whatever costume you're in, they will say something.
Could never have too much security.
Get back in. It's like shit like that, and it's just like, and like most people are just dicks. So they are as well, but like it's just so dumb. Like that's all it is.
I found I had issues with the takedowns. Like, if you went up behind someone, there was a very small chance that it would turn into a struggle.
Wait. That always happens, I notice, if you're on like an incline.
No, this was flat. This was in like bathrooms.
Was it though? Apparently, were you in stealth mode? If that makes sense when you did it, because apparently, were you okay?
Yeah.
It's something it does. The tip screen does say something about armed guards are more.
Yeah, no, they're more
down.
alert. But like,
Yeah.
I found that a couple of times when I went in to like smother someone, if I wasn't like directly behind them, if I was just a tiny bit off, it would turn into a fist fight.
Yeah.
So I developed a method of find a spanner and hit them over the back of the head.
I love the non-lethal weapon takedowns. They are fucking hilarious.
Did anyone throw a fire extinguisher at someone? Because the
Yes.
just fucking sick ass overhead throw he does is amazing.
No, but you know what I did do in the training level? You know the way you can knock out the chef?
Yeah.
So I threw the hammer at him, and the hammer landed in the soup after it hit him.
Did any of you do? I was saying the IOI. Did any of you do the escalation mission with the headmaster?
No.
No.
So, the first instance of that is you have to get up and kill him with a battle axe. And there's a battle axe round on the ledge just past him, but you can't swing with the battle axe. You have to throw it. And that was probably one of my favorite mini missions. Throw a coin. He has his back to you, and a massive big overhead fling with the battle axe. Brilliant.
One of my favorite kills is the Italian one where it's the virus, and it's the guy who actually created the virus. Did any of you just dress up as the plague doctor?
Yes.
No. For
So
that one, I shot the stalactite, is it?
Yeah, hang down from the ceiling. Yeah.
Yeah, I shot that above it and it fell. Destroyed it.
In his office, there is a plague doctor mannequin, and you can disguise yourself as the plague doctor and hide in plain sight. So what I did is he comes in to the room with like 3 guards who all take different positions, and so I was posing as the mannequin. While he was at his computer, I then unposed, grabbed a knife to the left of me.
And let's please point out, this is a circumcision knife.
It's a circumcision knife. and I just throw it at him and kill him, and then pose like nothing's happened. So all the guards are running about going, "Holy shit! Oh, he's dead! What just happened?" I'm just like, "Do do 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 do," and then I snuck out of the building dressed as a plague doctor. So
you mentioned you had issues with the UI. Want to expand on those?
I think the first thing I ever said to you, Nick, right, whenever I first booted up the game was, it looks like it's for a mobile phone. Like,
Yeah.
but like you know that main menu screen, it's
Yeah.
giant boxes, and then on the top it looks like you could swipe left and right to get to them. Like it really looks like that.
Did you all play with controller?
Yes.
yes,
Okay.
Did you?
I play with keyboard and mouse because obviously I like to shoot people in the head.
Need that precision.
Yeah.
just on the UI, this is a thing for me because I didn't fully understand it. Whenever you're selecting in your inventory,
Yeah.
did anyone undercover or find a way that you could equip a weapon without actually whipping it out?
If you hit up on the D-pad, you will holster.
Whenever you're selected,
you will holster
Yeah, no,
or
but-
unholster.
but like, yeah, no,
But like from the inventory.
from the inventory screen, because you hit A to select it, and then but when you select it, he whips it out. So say if I'm like, oh, I've got a knife but I want to use a gun, but I'm in like a crowded place, I'd have to whip out my gun in a crowded place so everyone freaks out. You can't select it without drawing the new weapon, which just seems like a really bad design, but to me, especially for a game that's about stealth.
That's why you get a costume that allows you to carry a gun.
I felt like,
Like I did all the time.
I felt like I did see a moment. I didn't like look into this specifically, but when I was playing last night, there was a bit where I had a sniper rifle out. Okay, it was holstered, and you could see the Wii sniper rifle symbol on the bottom right. But it said what I had selected was a coin, which would imply that you can have two active items.
Yes, you can have a weapon. Yeah, if you have a weapon holstered, you can hold some other items.
Yeah.
But it's only big.
Yeah,
it's
like
only
assault
bigger
rifles
weapons.
yeah, like rifles essentially.
Things
Anything
that,
that goes on your back.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's because it's essentially it's a way. It's the game is telling you that look, you have this, but
you can't
people,
conceal it.
yeah, people can see this weapon, so people will freak out if you walk around with an assault rifle in your casuals,
Oh, yeah,
your civvies.
back to the UI thing. There's also a few little situations. It's not like the biggest deal, but it is kind of annoying if you're in like a pressure situation where, let's say you take down someone, okay, and their body's on the ground. But let's say there's other items also on the ground. Because you only have 4 face buttons, and only one of them is like, you know, pick up an item. I did have situations where it's like, okay, I want to pick up this guy's phone or key card, but you know, there's a gun beside him. There's like a coin which I threw to distract him, and all this shit is just in the way, and I have to like angle my character so I pick up the right item.
Yeah.
It just feels like I'm actually just not a fan of the controls in general. Like I just felt like playing.
You should feel glad you didn't use the keyboard then.
Like, I felt like I don't know. Every time I was playing it, I just felt like I'd rather be playing Metal Gear Solid 5. Like I don't know. It was just like I just felt like the buttons were just very weird, but they weren't even that odd.
But I feel like is that not kind of an issue just with any game that's got droppable loot?
Yeah.
Like even say like a Fallout game as well. It's kind of a similar thing. You know,
Yeah.
guy dies, drops all his weapons. You have to kind of actually aim at each individual weapon to pick it up. I wouldn't necessarily say maybe it's a bit easier now because Fallout is first person most of the time and it's got an actual cursor or crosshair. I think it's just more of a problem with games with like individual loot, if you will.
Well,
No, I do get what you, because I do vividly remember certain times where like I've dragged the body out of the way to get like the key card or key he was lying on.
there was one instance where there was only one thing I needed to pick up, which was the hotel pass to get into your room, and the guy put it on his side of the desk, which meant I had to angle my camera in such a terrible way to be able to pick it up without having to go around to an illegal zone. Also, if you're a server in a hotel and you put someone's pass on your side of the desk, you shouldn't be in a hotel. You should hand the
customer
guest
service.
their room pass and not set it right in front of you.
We talked about this like a tiny bit, but I think as part of gameplay, like, how was the shooting for you guys? For what shooting you may or may not have done? Because I'll tell you my experience. Right, I used the pistol like a couple of times, and it was like fine, I guess. But like, I don't know. I just maybe it's because I haven't played like first person or a shooter with a controller in a while. Maybe I've just lost my touch, right? But like, I just thought it was really hard to like aim, and like I picked up. There was one bit right where Amy was watching me, right, and I decided here, look, I'm just gonna gun everyone down in this room, all right. And I picked up an assault rifle. I'm pretty sure in that entire clip, like maybe one bullet hit the guy right in front of me. All the other bullets went everywhere, and it was just terrible.
Yeah,
I did use the
single
sniper rifle,
shot stuff,
and it was better, but it was. I thought the shooting was terrible.
The recoil on all the machine guns were very over the top, I feel.
I think, for single shot stuff, yeah, it's grand. But I think kind of the reason they've maybe made the automatic weapons a bit shit is so you can't just like Rambo your way through a level. Because if you made the assault weapons like too precise, probably the best word for it, like you would just be able to like Rambo your way through a level and not.
Yeah, there'd be no point in the
engage
stealth.
with the mechanics, yeah.
But you know, that gives me an excuse to actually use the cover button. I want a Gears of War this.
You do it with a pistol like I did. That's basically what I did to get out of situations. So just hide behind
Or
walls.
collect about 80 cans of expired soup and throw them at people.
There was this one bit where, the level with the one with the school.
Yeah.
Marrakesh.
So to kill your man in the, was it one of them's in school and what's the other building? It's
the embassy.
Is this an embassy? Alright, so in the embassy, right, I killed the guy by being a masseuse. Okay.
Oh, you didn't drop a moose on his head?
No, I didn't. I did see that was an option, but I didn't. But what I did was, it was actually the only time where I felt the game actually like put up, let's call it a challenge of, okay, there's a costume I need to get, but the guy isn't alone. For once, there's literally a guard staring right at the guy, and he just hangs out in this office. And there's another NPC that walks in and out of the office, drinking the same cup of coffee, then putting it back down. Right, and going back again, and then coming back for the coffee, and so I had to think of a way to, not alert the entire embassy outside these doors. So I picked up like a soda can or something on the floor, threw it at the guard, and then walked up and punched him, and then the masseuse would turn around and be like, "Hey, you shouldn't go around punching," and then I punch him, and then I hide the body before Mr. Coffee Guy comes back, and then Amy said to me, "Here. Do you have poison on you? Like, could you just like poison that coffee?" So when he comes back again.
Yeah, I realized if you start like really paying really close attention to like the AI routines, some of them are hilarious. Like the camera guy you can disguise yourself as in Marrakesh. He's in like a chica den, like a hookah den, and like he'll go into the hookah pipe, smoke for about 2 minutes, and then walk to the bathroom and go to the toilet, and then walk back. He's like, "Dude, you have the smallest bladder I've ever seen."
Just IOI for future reference, if you replay the level, you can get the guy to leave the room by turning the TV on so he can't do his phone call. The masseuse leaves because he can't hear it over the TV.
Oh, really?
I did that by accident because I was like, oh, here's an interact button, what's it do? And I turned the TV on, and then all I hear is the masseuse going, yeah, I can't hear you. Some dickhead turned the TV on.
There's a bit, is it Italy? Is that the one with the lab underground? Sapienza. And so I dressed up as the golf coach and seduced the woman, right? But
nice.
But the thing is, right, you need to get his costume, and he walks to the pool where there's like a billion guards, and like back to the cliff edge, but where there's also a couple of guards. But literally, his little interaction is, he walks to the pool. Sorry. He's at the cliff. He makes a secret phone call, all right? And then, like, essentially arranging the meeting. Puts his phone away, walks back saying, "I still got it," right? And he keeps doing this because he always has it, right? He always has it.
I actually do like the little moments that NPCs kind of have in it, like because they all have their own wee subroutines. There actually is like little narratives and stuff to them. Like the very first one, and this kind of sold me on the game. I was walking and I was like, alright, I need a guard disguise because I can't get any higher up in the building in the Paris fashion show. So I was walking and I was going towards toilets, and this girl says to the guard, "Oh, can I go in here? Can you lock this toilet so I can go in here? I need to go to the bathroom." So she goes in and she makes herself vomit into the toilet. And I was just like, that is so fucked up. So that was all fine. And then I was like, right, that guard, I'm having his costume. So I went into the other bathroom beside him, flooded the sink so that he came in. I was like, he came in, I choked him out, and I was like, great. And then I swapped clothes. While I was swapping clothes, the woman who was throwing up came out of the other bathroom and had walked into this bathroom. So I was standing there naked, essentially, with the other guard taking his clothes off, looked up, and she was about to shout for help, and then I punched her in the face.
Well, the fact that we have so many stories is a good sign.
Yeah, like that is a lot of different approaches
Yeah.
you can take, surprisingly so.
So,
Apart-
with all the different approaches, I think we've talked about gameplay quite a lot here. I think it's kind of
Yeah.
important we now move on to the structure of the game, because obviously it was such a big deal when it came out that Hitman would be episodic. So we kind of need to look at this in kind of two ways. Like, we need to look at the way we did it, where we bought the whole game after the fact, all the episodes were out. And I think we kind of need to also look, like, content-wise per each level. Is there enough to tide people over for that, like, months to say 6 weeks between each episode, that people would only have this level to play, these two levels to play? Like, is there enough there to warrant putting down money for an entire season at one time?
Did you get one level or did you get two levels?
You got one level.
You got,
each map essentially was a new, bar the first one, which is obviously the intro mission and Paris. Each one was a new map essentially.
Did you get the escalations in between?
I think how I think it was each one launched with one or two escalations, and then they would add like a new escalation each week or so,
Okay.
or add a couple of new escalations for each of the maps.
How much was the season pass?
Initially, I think it was 25 to 30 quid.
For the season, so you got every episode.
Yeah.
See,
It was
if
either,
you look at
I
it-
can't remember if it was that or a full priced. But it was
if you look at
definitely-
it that way, and you were buying the episodes individually, say that episodes are like $5.99 a pop, would easily say I could have easily got about £6-7 worth of enjoyment per episode, easy.
What?
I feel like I didn't care enough to replay them.
Let me put this through your hands, right? I'm pretty sure my game time is like 5 hours.
Well, mine's 14, but I did a lot more. in
Sorry,
terms of
it's 8 hours.
extra
It's 8
content.
hours. No, my 2 cents, right, is that unless you are that person who wants to see everything on a level, which I am not, like, I don't actually intend to replay those levels. I might like go back and do those like bonus things just to sort of see what they are, but for me, it's like it's about that first time you did it, you know, because that there, you know, it's really cool, like, you know, seeing those levels and, you know, for the first time, and not go back and be like, well, I know this is gonna happen.
I think though, for me, what makes me want to go back is trying the different starting areas and stuff like that. I think, yes, okay, it would make the level easier, but I think having, say, a starting disguise and stuff like that means you can, it leads to more experimentation within the level. Like, I went back and replayed the very first one, but I started off in the kitchen, and I hadn't even touched the downstairs kitchen area. Like, there's an entire wine cellar and stuff down there, which I hadn't touched in my first playthrough, which just fucking blew my mind, because it made it, that level seem even bigger than it already was. So for me, no, I think like the different starting areas and different equipment that you unlock opens up a lot more experimentation per level.
Well, I generally, when I went into the level, I explored it all. Like, so that kind of sapped the will to go back to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I went, after I finished the Paris mission, I was like, right, I'll go back and see if there's anything I could have done different. And then I just got fed up and just ended up doing the usual Alex thing of shooting him in the head and leaving. So it was kind of just like, you know, I had explored it all, and I found that I did that for every level. It's like I explored, I dandered around the entire map, and then I was like, right, I'll just do it this way then.
I
And
feel
then
like what would
Never went back to it.
what might have been better for me is that, because from like let's call it a role playing standpoint, like I don't really want to spend longer than I need to in a level, because I feel like that's not the kind of game, even though it is, but like for the character it doesn't feel right if he's literally, you know, skirting out the entire building, even though he's got, you know, Batman detective vision, right, and he knows exactly where he needs to go, which is also really odd, but anyway, that's all right.
Yeah.
But like what I would have liked, I think, which might have made me like the game more, is, do you know how at the very start of the game, right? I never looked at this at the start because I felt like it would ruin it for me. But at the very start, you can look at all those available intels. Or opportunities at the start. And you can be like, okay, I want to see this one. What I would have liked is, you know how every time after the briefing, it's, oh, I'll leave you to prepare 47. What I would have loved is if that aspect was part of the preparation. If you were given this information and being like, oh, you know what? This one's, like, you know, knowing this, maybe I want to start going this way on the map. You know, or I want to start doing this. And have this in your mind. Because I feel like, you know, a Hitman, like, should have a bit more prep.
I think the whole idea of the opportunities is you discover them rather than, because you're not going to know going in, oh, there's a delivery coming in.
Oh yeah, no, I know that, but like some of them, like it is.
Oh, this guy's running late for work. You know, like the Italian one was like you can get in because the delivery person's brother's late, so you can go steal his uniform.
Like I just feel like there should have been a layer before that, and then
but
those things supplement.
Like you could know, like a meeting is going to happen, so you can prepare for that meeting. But I don't think having the opportunities in the planning stage would help the game because.
What if there was, like, say, certain opportunities that were, like, static? Say, like, things that you did know, like, there is a meeting that day and such, but then there are also opportunities that came available during the...
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Ones, right. Like, you could have had both.
But, like, what I was saying is, like, say in your debriefing, like, the guy says, oh, he's close to the family. It's like, here is like a couple of family places that would mean a lot to him, like say the graveyard. Then when you get into the game, in your actual map, the graveyard is marked already.
It's like little things like that. Yeah, it's like little things like that. It's not.
I get what I was saying is where it feels like you can be told all this stuff in the briefing, but when you actually get into the level, it doesn't feel like you know that stuff. Because I can get dropped in the level, but I still don't know where this graveyard is. Like, you can talk about it all you want. I don't know where that is unless I've already played this level, which feels like someone who is meant going in here to kill a person would know.
But I still think that then ties into they want you to explore the level, because if you know where the graveyard is, you're going to go walk directly to the graveyard. You're not going to go over to where the safe house could be to pick up extra equipment. You might not walk over to where the detective was sleeping to wake him up and then find a new path in. Do you know what I mean? I think it's more from a game developer going like, we built this fucking map, you're going to fucking explore it.
Yeah.
But then that's how you then use... But that's why it's not just one choice. And that's why... Because this... Let's be honest, right? The thing I really hate about this game is that everything is just too convenient. Any guard, which they specifically want you to take down, there is a locker beside him. That is what I noticed. Anytime I thought, you know what, I'm going to have to take this guy down.
Funnily enough, getting the flowers for the grave one, to get the costume, there is no locker beside the delivery people.
There's a cliff you can throw them off.
Yeah, but that's a kill.
It still disposes of the body, though.
Well, it depends how you want to play it, though, if you want to kill innocents.
But is that not just kind of like the same thing with any media form, is that you kind of just got to suspend a certain amount of belief? Like, you know, it just so happened that this guy fell off a cliff and the guy was able to run at that exact moment and grab his hand to save his life. Is that not just kind of that any media form is that you just kind of have to take everything with a pinch of salt because it's media and things have got to line up in a certain way? No?
I suppose it would make the game extremely difficult if they didn't provide you places to hide bodies regularly.
Yeah, it's kind of like saying, oh, it's oddly convenient, all these chest-high walls that are in Gears of War.
Yeah. Like, it's easy, you can pick it apart,
it's just a gameplay conceit you have to live with, I think.
Yeah.
It's something you just
I think they've been there in all the Hitmans. I think they've always had that kind of style.
I just feel like I've played a few stealth games and, like, I've never felt... I think, like, one of the best things about stealth games is the whole, like, moving bodies because they'll be spotted. But, like, in a game like this, there was never any thought of, okay, I should put it maybe around this corner or over here because there's a patrol over here or something. It's very much, there's a chest behind me. Oh, I guess I'll... Or, as I accidentally did once, I accidentally put him into a box of acid. I did not realize it was a box of acid.
I also did that. I did not realize it was that.
Yeah. I just pressed the Y button and boom, dead.
Non-target killed. Oh, okay.
I did find there were some situations where there weren't any boxes about, though. Like, when I took people down.
You shot them in the head. So
No,
you
no,
probably
no,
killed
like
them
the-
you probably killed them like in the middle of their walking path.
Alex's like filter of who do I need to get rid of.
Right.
It's actually quite funny because I went out of my way to keep people alive other than the target, which is why I didn't throw the body off the cliff.
Why do you just imagine by the end of Alex's like hotel level, the entire hotel's completely empty or just littered with corpses? As he like walks through the lobby.
One incident where I went on a killing spree, and that was the embassy. Because I snuck in as a soldier through the basement, and I went up the stairs, but the soldiers aren't permitted in the actual
That's true. You're absolutely
upstairs of the embassy. So I went upstairs, and one of the security guards said, whoa, what are you doing? So I was like, right, I need to knock him out. So I threw something at him, and someone was at the counter and saw me knock them out. So I knocked them out, which then caused a massive chain reaction of people freaking out. So I then had to go on a massive killing spree in the basement to kill all the soldiers.
Alex just had to, guys. He just had
to survive.
Had to.
So, and then I had to go like find the keys to the car. That was the only incident where I killed innocents.
I killed innocents by accident. It was similar to the acid thing, except I had my gun drawn whenever I went up behind someone to knock them out, and I thought, oh, maybe they'll just like knock them out.
Yeah,
no, they like pumped like 4 rounds into him. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
I did that quite a bit.
So back to episodic content, because we kind of derailed there.
Alright,
Okay, yeah. I have a point about episodic content.
Okay, go for it, Hans.
I feel like it hurts it in one regard, is that it kind of fucks with the difficulty curve a wee bit. Because it's episodic, in my mind, you would think the difficulty curve would reset per episode almost.
Yeah.
But it just seems to just continue on, kind of. Like, you would start a new, especially at the final level. No, I'd say more the Marrakesh level. Like, it picks right up difficulty-wise from where I think it's the Paris one before that.
Sapienza.
No, sorry, no, it's the Lapienza.
Sapienza. Jesus Christ, Hans.
I am not Italian. But yeah, so like I feel like it because like you kind of rank up and it gets harder and harder to get the costumes and then try and get into the more secure areas. But then you kind of get to the Marrakesh one, and it kind of just seems to keep going with that because there's so many people around. It feels like it's really difficult to try and get a new costume or disguise to get into the new areas. So in my opinion, I think it fucks with the difficulty curve a wee bit, that it doesn't reset after every level, especially if this like they come out like a month apart. You know, you might have not touched this game after completing the first mission, so you're going to be rusty going in.
I feel the episodic content is good for the hardcore Hitman fans because it gives them time to play with the levels and do the escalations and do all that stuff that they love. But it hurts the kind of outsiders like us coming in because we don't care about all that. We just want to play the map maybe once and then we're waiting.
I feel like Hans makes a really interesting point about an episodic game in general. I personally feel though that that does not apply to this game because I felt the difficulty was the exact same throughout all levels because you put on a costume and you just waltz in. Like,
hey man, that last level was really difficult for me not having a gun.
But that was I actually thought, like, you see the briefing for that level, right? I was like, oh yeah, you know, the door is controlled by an AI, like, oh, it's gonna be like a little bit tougher, but it's like just get a fucking costume.
Yeah, and the door
just walk through
you.
the doors.
Yeah.
Do you know what this game is a more complicated version of? Did you ever play Stacked? You know, with the stacking dolls? Yeah. You need to find certain stacking dolls to like solve certain puzzles. This is just a more complicated version of that.
It's really weird because I feel like I don't dislike this game, but I have like
you could have fooled me
because like it's not like a really like a bad game. I just feel like they just miss so many things with this. But again, back to the episodic thing, like I would be really disappointed if I had like gotten a level because as I said, I have 8 hours game time, right? And who knows how much of that is just sitting about, and like that's just doing the story missions. And could you imagine I play this game like an hour a month?
But
Like,
I feel
that's-
like that goes into what I was saying was like it doesn't appeal to the people who aren't hardcore Hitman fans, and I feel like this game is more of an apology for Absolution for the hardcore fans, because Absolution was just like a disgrace. It was just awful. Whereas this one, it gave them the chance to experiment. It gave them the chance to increase.
It gave them the killing sandbox everyone wanted.
Yeah, because by earning the mastery, you earn the higher difficulties, and start like doing the escalations, which go up dramatically in difficulty. Like it gets crazy how difficult they become. And for the likes of us, who are not interested in doing like the super hardcore Hitman gameplay, I think that the episodic hurts the game, but for the hardcore Hitman fans, it gives them time to do all that stuff without throwing content on them. So, I feel like it can isolate people, but also bring the hardcore people back.
A part of me wishes I had played the other Hitman games, because I would love to like judge this based on like other, like what
This
people were
is
expecting.
so much better than Absolution. Like,
But people didn't like Absolution. Like, so what I'm referring to is like, you know, like Blood Money.
and
yeah, the old ones.
those ones.
Yeah,
The ones that are considered technically
Yeah,
good.
because I've played like a lot of stealth games, but like this is, but a lot of them are like traditional stealth, not like in plain sight kind of stealth.
yeah.
So it was a nice change, but it just felt just so weird. The whole like, oh, just put on a costume and you know, no one asked you about that barcode, you know.
So for plot, I don't think any of us are really in a position to. There's not a lot of plot, so I don't think any of us are in a position to really criticize.
Oh, maybe there isn't.
or-
Like, maybe we just Google that shit. Google it.
So for plot, I was going to say, oh, we'll talk about our stories that we had, which I feel like we've kind of just done throughout the
Yeah.
episode.
We've
anyway.
already done that.
Yeah, so I feel like we can just go like roll straight on into conclusions here.
Well, let's just say like the plot is there.
I think
Yeah.
the plot, like the
Like-
there is intrigue in those like brief cutscenes in between episodes.
And they didn't need to do it,
Yeah.
put it that way.
Is it
Like,
a
they could
coherent
have
plot? Maybe, I don't know.
Actually, the ending bothers me. That's some let's finish the fight shit right there. Like,
Well, I mean, they were always going to set up for a second season.
Yeah, because I think by the time the last episode did come out, they had announced that there would be a second season.
You know what, I you go and play A Wolf Among Us, and then we'll talk about cock teasing endings, okay? That ending is the biggest cock tease in the world.
So, we're getting a sequel.
Yeah, no, yes! So excited!
So, in conclusion, my final thoughts on Hitman. I think it is a game of very high highs and some kind of disappointing lows. I think when the gameplay works, it is in part hilarious and incredible. Like, there are very few games where I can drop a moose on someone's head and then walk away scot-free. But I feel like, as I said, there are times where it is far too handholdy, but also then there are other times where it is just far too vague in aspects. And if they kind of found a nice medium for that, I think it would have went so much better in their favor. But all in all, I really did enjoy like the 4 episodes I have played, and I do plan on playing those last 2 episodes. And I'll maybe dick around with some of the. I'll probably try the elusive targets every time they come out because those seem like good fun. I'll maybe not mess around with the escalation stuff because that stuff seems That's not the kind of stuff I'm going to Hitman for. Is repeating the same mission with different parameters. Hans.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Hitman. More than I think I was going to. I'm not a big stealth person. I still think it's bogged down by some of the stealth mechanics. For me, like I said, not a stealth person. Like I just don't have the patience to wait. Like having to wait for a target to finish their walk cycle and routines to come back to the one area I have planted my bomb is frustrating to me. But saying that, I had a lot of fun with it. I think that's what this game is, fun. The silliness is there. Like, you know, me throwing a hammer and hitting a guy in the face and like, dropping into his soup. killing people while dressed as a drummer, a very hipster drummer. It wasn't actually as technically solid as I thought it was going to be. Like we didn't touch on this, but like I had a couple of frame rate drops at really random times. Not even when there was a lot of people on screen, just like random walking down a path, and the frame rate would just judder. Also, doing like stealth takedowns and grabbing people through walls and then dragging them through the wall to take them down. But no, like I said, for a stealth game, I thoroughly enjoyed this. People who enjoy stealth games might like this more than I do, so I would say it's fun, good fun. 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10.
Alex?
I quite enjoyed it. I didn't really bother with all the escalations. I did one up until level 5, and I just got fed up with how stupidly difficult it got. Like when you have to keep your gun out at all times, even when you're like jumping through a window, you get a timer and all that jazz. If you take too long jumping through the window, you fail the mission. It's just escalations. Not interested, but I can see the appeal. The actual like maps and stuff, I thought they were pretty cool, like the layout and how you can go about doing all the different missions. Really enjoyed it. Couple of issues with the keyboard and mouse controls, but yeah, other than that, yeah.
I think it's very much worth picking it up if it's on sale, like we did. But for me personally, I just felt like I think I was so blown away by the maps. I think were amazing, but I just felt like what was inside those maps sometimes just kind of let it down a bit. Whenever there's so much opportunity and all the work that you could see they obviously put in, I just feel like there was just a few shortcomings.
Yep, so that wraps us up on Hitman. Generally positive impressions all around. Just some disappointing issues, I'd say. But hopefully maybe we'll get rectified when the second season comes around. It is very nice that IO Interactive did get to keep the license after being sold off by Square Enix. But yeah, so if it's on sale, go buy it. Seems to be the general consensus. And if not, if you're really into Hitman, it's probably worth full price. However, before we wrap it up for today, we have one last order of business. Next month is August, and that means it is Alex's turn to pick a game. Mr. Yep. Proudfoot.
Hello.
Hit me with your rhythm stick.
Okay. Well, I had a couple of options. One that I was leaning very heavily towards, which is probably no surprise, is Pyre. Mm-hmm. I was really tempted to pick it, but I figured, nah. I'm going to play it anyway, and I don't care what anyone else thinks because it's going to be amazing. So, what I decided was I'm going to annoy Hans some more and pick a game that he's not going to enjoy because he doesn't enjoy stealth games. So he's not going to enjoy this.
He enjoyed Hitman?
This is not a stealth game, but it is also something he doesn't like. I have picked Hollow Knight.
Oh. Okay.
Yay. Dark Souls bullshit.
Is it not more Metroidvania than Dark Souls? Or am I
it is Metroidvania, but a very difficult Metroidvania.
You alright there, Hans?
I hope Pyre sucks, Alex.
No, that's not very nice, Lance. Because it's not just me. He likes Pyre. Everyone's going to love Pyre. Everyone.
No, I didn't like... Well, I didn't like...
Transistor.
Right, okay, now... You're just wrong in that regard. Transistor is a fantastic game.
I loved the first one.
So much that you can't remember the name, can you?
It was on the 360. It's an entire generation ago.
I can tell
What
you
the fuck
its
was
name.
it called? Oh, what's it called?
Let's just leave Hans to it.
I'm not even going to tell Hans the name. I want him to stew.
I can tell you one of the characters was called Zulf.
It was the dude with the sexy voice doing the narration.
Transistor, yeah.
No. This is gonna piss me off.
So that wraps us up.
Don't you fucking dare! Don't
next
you
time when
begins with
Hans
It's a character in Overwatch. Hans.
Bastion! It's Bastion!
Yeah.
God, that favorite game everyone loves.
I enjoyed Bastion, but as far as I'm concerned, it was the combat in Transistor that really put me off.
Oh, the combat's amazing.
I
No.
preferred Bastion.
Yeah, Bastion's awesome.
I did like Transistor, but I preferred Bastion. But yes, that is it. Join us in August for Hollow Knight. And listen to Hans bitch and moan, because it's what he does. But for now, it is a goodbye from Hans.
Bye bye.
It's a goodbye from Alex.
You're welcome, Hans.
It's a goodbye from IY.
Hit on all the men.
It's a goodbye from me. See you next month.